welcome back. It's Benjamin from Optimal Canine. Today we're with Luna, the reactive German Shepherd. We're going to bring her to Atwood's to do some kind of training. I'm not really focused on how good her obedience is. I really want to see her behavior. About 2 weeks ago, it's probably been 3 weeks now, she's doing a lot of barking at just people. She was barking at us when we first approached her, but her owners say that she barks all the time at people just in public spaces just for existing. The people don't have to do anything. She's just reactive, barking, barking, barking. So we put some obedience on her. She understands her basic commands, sit, down, come, heel, place. She's got it all down. So now I want to see what she does now that she has a little bit more structure. If I have to provide some corrections, I will, but I'm more just curious kind of to see what's the dog thinking now. So we're going to let her out. And this isn't too busy of a place, but it's a little busy. We'll probably take her somewhere even busier in the next couple days if she does well here. So, starting off on the right track by saying, and not allowing her to bust out of the crate. Same rules apply. You cannot bust out of the crate. Good girl. She can have a reward. I don't think she wants it. She's very, it's not surprising how reactive she is. Because she doesn't, no. She doesn't handle stress very well and gets stressed very easily. So you can kind of tell when a dog is stressed by their eating habits. Typically, if, dogs want to eat, then they're a lot less stressed. But if they're not eating at all, then I can tell you that the stress levels are relatively high. Freak. So now she can come out because she waited. So if she's not eating, we will praise her for good decisions and pet her. But if she doesn't want to eat, then can't make her eat. So I'm going to adjust her collar. So I'm not saying anything. I'm just letting her think about what she wants to do. There's some vocalization there. She's definitely a little hesitant. When we met her, she was rattling off the barks quickly. Just bam, bam, bam. She's definitely a little bit hesitant. The emotion's still there. People only call me when I'm doing something. That's the only time I get calls. I didn't get a call all this morning. Some whining. There's a dog barking somewhere. There must be a dog like in the car or something. Okay. Well, we're going to move a little closer. Sometimes it's a distance thing. She has to get closer before she makes a bad decision. And this is her first time being out in public with me. I've not taken her out. The only thing she's done is training in the backyard. No. Give her some feedback there. And also getting on to her about pulling me. So I'm walking at my pace. She's not leading the pace of our walk. If I stop, I expect her to stop and check in. So she's feeling a lot of emotions. She did a stress relief shake there. She's doing some vocalization here. Hit her head on that. So what we have here is kind of we have a different behavior. There's still some of the emotions there, but she's using, no, that was a bird that she barked at, I'm pretty sure. So we have to show her what we'd like her to do in these scenarios, because you can tell she just doesn't really know what to do. Like, she's just walking around, whining, crying, overstimulated. So you can tell she doesn't really know what to do with herself. So we just have to show her, this is what you do when you're out in public. And the only way you can do that is constantly get the dogs out. So you can't just leave them in the yard all the time and expect them to make good decisions and know what to do. No. They're never going to learn if they don't get to have that experience. So some people like to just crank up the e-collar. I don't like cranking up the e-collar. Not for that. I like getting right to them and saying, hey, you don't do that. That came directly from me. You said what? Oh, yeah. You don't do that. You can't act that way around me. You see, she's figuring out what she can and can't do, but she was a lot more hesitant to do it. It took a couple of people to walk by before she decided to go ahead and make that decision. So if I'm a pushover, and if I'm gonna correct her firmer next time. I held back a little bit because this is her first time. But if I'm a pushover and I let that go and I don't say anything to the dog, I just allow the dog to sit there and do that, then she does it again, and she does it again, and it builds like a snowball effect. Good girl. So she made a good decision there. Tail tucked between the legs, so she's still a little nervous, but she made a good decision. Yeah. I'll allow this time. Good girl. And the thing about reactivity for German Shepherds is, yeah, they can be a little nervous and a little scared, and I'm not saying she's not, but it's also fun for the dog to behave this way, because this is what they were bred to do. They were bred to be vigilant and be wary of strangers. So if I'm saying you get some treats and stuff for not doing that, that doesn't mean that the behavior still isn't rewarded for her to do the opposite of what I want. So I have to create good I have to create a mindset where the dog uses some self-control and says, even though I would like to just bark at people that I don't know, I won't, because of what my handler's expectations from me are. She can look. She just can't act that way. See if she wants a treat. Good. She does now. Or maybe she doesn't like my patties. Well, let's see. Now she likes the patties. She just was stressed. Now she's eating stuff. So sometimes a good way to gauge your dog's level of stress is looking at it. Do they want to eat anything? Is this something that they usually like that they're not wanting to enjoy? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do anything about it, but at least you know, oh, this is a stressful situation for my dog. Let me move accordingly. So now we can work on a little bit of engagement, rewarding her for paying attention to me. So notice how I didn't come in and ask for a whole bunch of obedience. Like if I come in, I'm like, sit down, heel. It's like she can't even get past the fact that people are walking by and I'm asking her for a list of commands versus me coming in and allowing her to observe, look around, explore, make some decisions, figure out what I expect from her. And then once she's figured that out, she's offering me more engagement now, so I can reward that. Reactivity is like not even that hard to deal with. It's just nobody corrects the dogs. It's not even difficult. I'll be surprised if she has an explosion like that more than like one other time. Like it's not even that big of a deal. You just correct it and you move on. You continue taking the dog out. You continue working through the things. But people who are allowing dogs to explode constantly, you're just not effectively correcting your dog. It's simple as that. All right. We're going to go inside then. How did your... It's like her light is on. So that's a little piece of body language that y'all can pay attention to. She saw that man. She saw that man and she didn't even try to really interact with him. Luna, down. Good. Giving the dog an opportunity to think. Think about what I said. Okay, so she saw the man and she immediately kind of kept it moving, and she didn't go and sniff the man at all, which is what I'd like her to do. Some dogs, when they're a little bit more curious and they're reactive because they're no, they're reactive because they're kind of curious and unsure, so they just explode. they'll go and kind of sniff and check it out. She didn't even look to sniff at all. She just kind of went straight by. Then once the man got past, no, down. Once the man got past, then she decided to let off a shake. The shake is not because she's cold. It's because she's stressed and she's relieving the stress by a shake. So a lot of times when you see down, a lot of times when you see a dog do a shake, there are times I'm sure when there's water on them or they're cold and they're shaking off the cold. But a lot of times if you see your dog shake after a situation, they're kind of relieving that stress and trying to get more comfortable. So I didn't say anything to her that time. I've told her 3 times to down. She keeps getting up and breaking the position. Got a correction on her e-collar. The only reason I'm using the e-collar for corrections is because of how much practice we've done in the last 3 weeks on her obedience and conditioning for the e-collar. So she knows what that means. E-collar turned on. You see, I didn't have to say anything. She laid back down. Good. She ate that a little slower. So maybe a little bit more stressed here. So you really only need 2 things to be um, a good handler. You need to show you're confident and that you've got the situation under control and that she doesn't need to worry about anything. And then you need to have clear, clear reinforcement and advocate for your dog. So if the employees are trying to say hi to your dog and your dog's a nervous wreck, you need to say, hey, my dog isn't comfortable with new people. So if you could, give us, space. Because the overall goal is for your dog to be comfortable with you and your family members, but there's really not any benefit for your dog coming up to random people and being super friendly and wanting to be around them. And on top of that, the goal is for your dog to be able to go places with you. And if you do not address this behavior and make it to where your dog can go places, they're going to sit in your backyard their whole life and bark at cars and never get to see anything. And what kind of life is that for a dog? So I gave her one correction at the beginning of the store, and her behaviors has gotten better. And she'll be able to go more and more places with me because of the consistency in her behavior and because I gave her that leadership and showed her what was appropriate. So since she's never been in the store before, notice I'm not asking a whole lot, just allowing her to check it out. The way dogs get comfortable is by sniffing and checking things out. So once we've done a lap, I'll ask for some obedience. As long as she does well with that, then we'll be done. All right, so we've given her time to kind of explore the store. We've done a lap. She had 2 incidents. One in the beginning where she barked at someone, and then she had a little incident where a child was in a cart, and she kind of rumbled, and I gave her a correction for that as well. So kind of letting her understand, helping her understand how I expect her to behave. People aren't going to bother you, but you don't need to, give that energy towards other people who aren't doing anything to you. And now I'm going to ask for obedience.
Oh, good girl. That's everything. Besides like a place, but I'm not gonna do that. We're good.